Welcome to the Dirt Broadcast. Dig into the bottom of every situation to get to the truth. Here's your host, Jason Mills.
Hello, folks. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day today. Let's give everybody just a couple minutes to jump on here and all that kind of good stuff. And we'll get started. Hope everybody's had a wonderful day. It's been a beautiful day, nice and warm. I think we got some rain coming and all those kinds of good things. So enjoy it while we got it. I know it's going to be windy and all that kind of good stuff. So hopefully you got everything tied down, anchored down, all those kinds of good things. And preparation for this rain, storm, wind, whatever we got coming. Said we'll just give everybody just a few minutes to jump on here. Remember to like, share, comment. We appreciate it. I know we've got, from the last podcast, we increased our numbers a little bit. So I appreciate all of you folks out there sharing me out and talking to people about the podcast and doing all those kinds of good things. I greatly appreciate it very, very much. Just giving everybody just a few minutes to jump on here and all that kind of good stuff. Get that shared out there to a few folks. Give everybody just about another minute and then we'll get started. It won't keep you long today. I know a lot of people are itching to watch Trump's speech at 9. So, like I said, it won't hold you very long. Just got a thing or two to talk about today, and we'll be back again next week. All right. All right, folks. We appreciate you joining us today on the Dirt Podcast. Yeah, I am your host, Jason Mills. If you didn't hear on the opening song and all, we do appreciate you tuning in today. Remember to like, share, comment. We appreciate it. Waiting on a message here back from somebody, but I ain't got it yet. But anyways, so like I said, hope everybody enjoyed this nice weather we had today. Be prepared for those rain coming, storms coming, whatever we got coming. I know there's a wind advisory out there today or tonight, so Hope you got everything tied down, all that kind of good stuff that might blow away. We do welcome you to the Dirt Podcast today. Remember, you can follow me or watch the podcast several different ways. I am on Facebook under the Dirt Podcast, as well as YouTube under the Dirt Podcast. I know I've been getting several folks watching over there on YouTube, so we appreciate the YouTube viewers. Well, thank you very much for that. And then I'm also on Rumble. It's the Dirt Podcast UC for Union County, the Dirt Podcast UC on Rumble. So we do appreciate everybody that's watching us, no matter how you're watching us. I know Facebook is, I normally try to keep all my podcasts saved on Facebook, but beginning in June, Facebook will begin deleting any live video after 30 days. So if you haven't heard that and you do live videos yourself and you put them on Facebook and all that kind of stuff, you might want to download those to a different form or something like that if you want to keep those, because after June, Facebook is going to start deleting any live video that is older than 30 days old. So keep that in mind. Just trying to keep everybody advised on what's going on there. I just like keeping mine on, for whatever reason, if we have to go back and pull something off of one or whatever. But hey, Facebook can delete it, but I still have YouTube and Rumble to go back to until they decide to delete them too. But so there you go. That's just your friendly reminder. So we do welcome you to the Dirt Podcast once again. We appreciate you being on here with us. Remember to like, share, comment, ask any questions you might have at any time. We appreciate that. This is an interactive podcast, and I will do what I can. My son's just staring at me, so I don't know what.
She said that you hollered for me.
I did not holler for you. I'm doing my podcast, but thank you. Anyways, all righty then. What happens when you're live? Never know what's going to happen. All right, so there's a couple things I want to discuss with everybody today. I know a lot of people are itching to watch the Donald at around 9, so I won't keep you very long today. And we'll be back again next Tuesday, same bat channel, same bat time, 8 o'clock on next Tuesday. We try to be every Tuesday at 8 p.m. unless something else is going on. And if something's going on, then, we try to announce that in plenty of time so everybody knows that the podcast has changed or canceled or what have you. So, one of the things I want to bring up, a lot of people have reached out to me and have been talking about some of the things that were said in the last county commission meeting as far as the constables and their training and all that kind of good thing. And I guess where some folks are trying to discredit the constables training as opposed to sheriff's department training and that kind of thing. And so let me set the record straight. Most of the constable training is exactly the same as a sheriff deputy or a police officer that work for the city, what have you. Actually, most constables actually go to a sheriff's department's trainings and has their training with the sheriff's department. So they are most likely exactly the same training. Now, some of the confusion comes in when they start talking about virtual training and what their training consists of and that kind of thing. Well, let me set this record straight too. The constables and the sheriff's department, our police department, whatever department, anywhere in Tennessee, are allowed to do a certain amount of virtual training online every year. It's not a requirement that they do virtual training, but they can do virtual training. And a lot of departments actually do some of the virtual training just because they can get together as a group, different departments or what have you, and do the training at the same time. So TCA gives all law enforcement the ability to do 32 of their annual hours as online training. They can do virtual training for up to 32 hours. They don't have to do 32 hours, but they can do up to 32 hours. So just to clear that up, I know there's been some things out there said one way or the other that they can't do, they can do, they do all their training virtual, whatever the case is. But the bottom line is TCA, Tennessee Law, Tennessee Code Annotated, that's what TCA stands for, is 32 hours is the max that anybody can do. So, so we can clear that up. Some of the commissioners had some questions about that at the county commission meeting, and I guess there was a little bit of a back and forth between some folks about that, but hope that makes that clear as mud. 32 hours is maximum anybody can do virtual training, because a lot of training police departments do, sheriff's departments do, constables do, actually has to be hands-on stuff. You know, you got to have your firearms training. You can't do that virtually. You got to have your driver's training. You can do some of the driver's training stuff virtually, depending on what it is, but the majority of that stuff is hands-on. You've got to be able to, perform certain duties. You got to be able to, be proficient at certain things. So that's why the 32 hours, it's a low number considering how many hours they have to do, but it's just the way it is. It's the way the law's written, and so you can't shame them for doing what they're supposed to be doing. And so you go back to okay, well, what's fair for one is fair for all. And if the sheriff's department can do that many hours and the police department do that many hours, then the constables can be doing that many hours. But for those that are attacking the constables saying that they don't do training or they don't have the same training, I want to make that clarification too, that their training is mostly, like I said, most of the constables that I know across the state, not just here in Union County, but most of the constables that I know actually train with police departments or sheriff's departments. And I know here in Union County, I don't know if it's still going on, but for a while there, a lot of the Union County constables that were actually doing anything were actually training with the sheriff's department. So yeah, hope that clears some of that up. We appreciate it. The other thing I want to talk to folks about is something I think is very important for Union County, especially if you are a conservative or a Republican or what have you, in that fashion. So here in the next few weeks, Union County Republican Party is reorganizing. That means they're going to have to revote on who's going to lead them and all those kinds of things. And so if you are a bona fide 100% Republican, you have an opportunity to make your voice heard. You have an opportunity, if you want, to run for an office within the Republican Party and those kinds of things. So if you're interested, I would like for you to seriously think about it, pray about it, and get involved with the Republican Party. Right now, you got Sidney Jesse, who's the chairman of the Republican Party. I don't know how many terms he has been, but it's my understanding that you can only be elected for 2 terms as an office holder in the Republican Party here in the state of Tennessee. I don't know if Union County's bylaws are different, but based on what I found as far as Tennessee goes, you can only be 2 terms. Now, if you want to enact change, one of the ways that you can, in a positive way, is to actually get involved with your Republican Party. Get out there and do what you can, and attend these meetings and make your voices be heard during those meetings, and that kind of thing. Kind of steer politics in Union County, kind of the way that maybe you feel like they should be steered. Maybe you don't think conservative values in Union County are being lived up to. Maybe you think that you can get some better or newer ideas, and those kinds of things. So that's why it's very important to get involved into your Republican Party. And one of the things that I've noticed, like at Christmas time, you go to these Christmas parades and that kind of thing. Every Christmas parade, and we go to a lot of Christmas parades all over the place. Clinton, Anderson County, Union County, Knox County, all over the place. Gibbs, all over the place. And every time we go to one, we always see the Democrat Party has like 3 or 4 or 5 cars and a bunch of people, and they're throwing candy and all this kind of stuff. I rarely, if ever, see a Republican Party banner or anything in any of these parades. And that's just one of the observations that I know, and as makes me think, as a conservative, I'm a constitutional Republican. You can argue differences in the Republican Party all you want to, but I am a constitutional Republican. I believe the Constitution as written. I don't think we should be mumbo jumboing it up. I don't believe that we should be out there changing words just to fit what we need it to fit at a certain time. It's a beautiful document, a beautiful set of guidelines for everybody to go by, and it gives us all the rights that we need in an ever-changing world. Just my opinion. So I'm not going to argue the nuances of what is inside the Republican Party. I'm going to simply say or ask you to get involved in the Republican Party here in Union County. And, you don't have to support everything that they do. You don't have to agree with everything they do, because nobody's ever going to agree 100% of the time. But you can't, just like going to the county commission meetings or any of these other meetings, you can't sit back and complain about something going on if you don't get involved yourself. I mean, lots of people do, but to me, if you're going to complain about it, let's be about it. Let's do something about it, and let's get out there and work towards a goal. And so, with that being said, like I said, the Union County Republican Party is going to reorganize. So you are looking at a new chairman. You're going to have 2 vice chairmen, 1 male, 1 female, a secretary that's responsible for keeping the minutes and publishing the meeting dates and times. You're going to have a treasurer and assistant treasurer, and they're obviously responsible for keeping track of the party's finances and reporting finances to the state. And there's also a chaplain, which provides the prayer and that kind of thing at each meeting. So if you're interested in running for any one of those, feel free to think about that, pray about it. As I am. So you ask what's required. Well, you must have voted in the last 3 out of 4 state Republican primaries. You obviously must be a bona fide Republican, and that will be verified by the Administrator of Elections. And if you are interested in running for one of these offices, you must submit a letter of intent stating which office you are wanting to run for. And you must include your address and phone number. And you can email this letter to sjesse2010@gmail.com, or you can mail it to Sydney Jesse at 274 Little Taylor Valley Road in Luttrell, Tennessee 37779. And those must be mailed no later than March the 13th. So if you're interested in running for one of those offices, make sure you get those emails or letters sent out. And again, you must state which office you want to run for, and a letter of intent. And you also must include your address and phone number in case they need to get a hold of you. And then those letters will be presented to the Credentials Committee for verification, and then a ballot will be set. And then you say, well, what happens then? Because you don't actually have, like, an election. You go out here and the polls and all that kind of stuff. But so an actual vote will take place on March the 20th at 6 p.m. in the large courtroom at the courthouse. Anyone can attend. So I would encourage as many of you out there that want to attend, just to learn how it works, learn what's going on in your Republican Party for Union County and that kind of thing. And even if you just want to, just see the happenings of what goes on. Miss Jeanette, I do not know, but what I do know is the address that he sent me was 274 Little Taylor Valley Road in Luttrell, Tennessee 37779. That came from him himself. So I do not know anything about North Ridgeview. So anyone can attend. Anybody that wants to vote must also be living in Union County and be a voter in Union County and a bona fide Republican as well. And you had to have also voted in 3 out of the last 4 Republican primaries. I do have a link if you want to register. If you are wanting to attend, again, this is on March the 20th at 6 p.m. I'll try to figure out a way to post that on the Facebook page, just so people can get it. I am considering running for one of those positions. I've not really made up my mind as of yet, but if I do decide to run for one of those positions, I'd like to get y'all's feedback and to know if y'all would support me, and I would like to know if y'all would actually show up and maybe vote for me. Because we know that the establishment, the powers that be, most of them, I can guarantee you that will not vote for me because I got a big mouth and I speak my mind and I stand up for what I believe in and what I think. So if you don't mind, if you want to put in the comments or message me, you can email me at jason4unioncounty at gmail.com or unioncountytn at gmail.com, or you can text me or anything like that, and you put a message on here. I'm just trying to gauge, if if I even have a fighting chance. And I say that for this. Run for, well, I've been out of law enforcement for too long, so I can't run for sheriff. I could run for mayor. I don't know why I couldn't run for mayor, but this is actually for the Republican Party itself. So we'll see what happens by the time the next election comes if I decide to run for something, that way. But this is just a small part of a bigger goal that I have for myself and for Union County and for Union County citizens. But so it's just something I'm thinking about. Like I said, I'd like to gauge if I'll even have support. And that would require a lot of you folks to actually come out and actually register to go to this thing and actually, cast a vote for whoever you think might be do a good job. Hopefully me. But I will let y'all know by next podcast if I'm going to and what I'm going to, if I choose to. But here's the thing. So I know that I will not have support from a lot of the establishment folks. I know that a lot of folks don't like the fact that I do these podcasts, and I know a lot of folks are related to a lot of folks, that are in government, and everybody knows that the school system is one of the highest employer in Union County. So I get that, and some of the things that I talk about are a little touchy when it comes to livelihoods and that kind of thing. I get that. I understand that completely. But so here's how I can gauge that I know that the establishment or the good old boy system won't support me. So over last year, I wanted to get involved with the Shriners and the Masons and J.C. Baker Lodge and all those kinds of things. I actually have a very good friend that just recently passed away, who was actually the secretary of the Masons, the Shriners, or whatever you want to call them. In the entire state, right? So he was the secretary for the whole thing, right? And he actually used to be one of my auctioneers. Miss Jeanette, you probably remember him because you came to my auctions. His name was Will. He's bald-headed, and but he just suddenly died a month or so ago, maybe a little longer. But so he was trying to help me get involved. I talked to him, and of course, you go to the Shriner Circus, and you see all these kids and that kind of thing, and how they're being helped. And so I want to get involved too, and I want to do my part and to see what I could do to, be a part of trying to better somebody else's life or whatever. It wasn't necessarily about me. It was just, trying to do something I felt as good. And so you go through that process, and you got to be voted in. You got to have a background check and all this kind of thing. So I went through that application process, and they pushed off voting on me several times. Different things happened, whatever. And so my background check came back. And for all y'all out there that think I'm this big bad guy and I've got this record and everything, my background check came back absolutely clear, nothing on it for that. And I actually know somebody that assisted with that is in law enforcement that assisted in the background check and all that kind of good thing. And so again, all those lies you hear about me out there, including from somebody related to the sheriff at one point in time during the election, And my neighbor around the corner there that I ran against, that wanted to go out and spread all the lies about me being this and me being that. So my record came back absolutely clear and all that kind of thing. However, they voted on me and they denied me becoming a member down there at the J.C. Baker Lodge. No hard feelings to any of those folks. I know some of those folks down there. Some of them I'm friends with, some of them I'm not. Some of them are county government employees, and so I get all that and that kind of thing. So, didn't get a reason why they voted no or any of that myself. So I reached out to my friend before he passed away, and he said, well, let me do some digging and I'll find out and I'll give you a call back and I'll let you know why they voted the way they did. And so he called me back a few days later and he's like, well, and it's what I already thought. And I even told him before he even dug into it to find out anything for me. But I had a feeling it was already about politics and it was already about my podcast. And so he called me back and he said, well, you were right. He said, I talked to so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so, and they told me that I got a no vote because of politics. And the good old boy system alive and well, and a lot of things that happen in Union County, including that they didn't want me to be a part of that, which is fine. That's their prerogative. I'm not going to hold that against them. But it just goes to show you that, like I said, politics are alive and well, and everything that happens in Union County, you might not think about it. But, it's alive and well as far as you go in your churches. It goes in, jobs. I was trying to volunteer to be a part of that group to help. My main thing was to help these sick kids and that kind of thing. I wanted to get involved that way as far as, Shrine Hospital and all that kind of stuff. And so I knew as soon as they told me I got the no vote that what it was about. And, it's a shame that you can't go out here and you can't, try to do something good without getting punished for it. And so it is what it is. And, I can reapply in 90 days or I can apply for a different lodge and that kind of thing. And my friend there, before he passed away, he told me which lodge to go to and all that kind of good stuff. And, I don't know if I'm going to try again or what have you. But either way, so that just, like I said, long story short, is just my way of trying to gauge, will anybody attend the Union County Republican Party and, and vote for me if I ran for something like that. Because like I said, I know that the establishment is not going to support me at all. So I don't want to waste my time, and I don't want to, waste anybody else's time. So anyways, so again, I'll go through those dates one more time. If you are interested in just attending the meeting and maybe voting, again, a voter must be a bona fide Republican living in Union County. You are required to have voted in the last 3 out of 4 state Republican primaries. And there, I have a link to register if you want to attend. I will try to get that link published on the Dirt Facebook page here after the podcast and that kind of thing. And if you are interested, that vote will actually take place on March the 20th at 6 p.m. in the large courtroom of the courthouse. Now, if you are interested in running for an office as a chairman, obviously presides over the meetings. There's 2 vice chairmen, a male and a female. There's a secretary who's responsible for keeping the minutes and publishing the meeting dates and time, a treasurer, an assistant treasurer responsible for keeping track of the party's finances and reporting finances to the state, and a chaplain who provides prayer at each meeting. If you're interested in running for any one of those offices, and I encourage a lot of folks to get involved, especially, like I said, if you want to get, a change and head in a different direction or what have you, as far as Republican Party here in Union County goes, you have to get involved. But in order to run for one of those offices, you must have voted in the last 3 out of 4 state Republican primaries, and that will be verified by the Administrator of Elections. And you will need to submit an email or a letter of intent stating which office you want to run for. And you must include your address and phone number. And you can email this letter to Cindy Jesse at sjesse2010@gmail.com, or you can send it via mail to 274 Little Taylor Valley Road in Luttrell, Tennessee 37779, no later than March the 13th. So you have a few days, not a terrible long time, but hopefully you think about it. And if you want to get involved, do that. Like I said, I'm thinking about it. Don't know if I'm going to or not, but if you all would be interested in supporting me, feel free to reach out, email me, text me, what have you. Let me know. And if not, then that's perfectly fine too. Like I said, I've not completely made up my mind what I want to do yet. So it's just one of them things. But if you want to email me about anything, not just this, you can email me at Jason4FOR Union County TN @gmail.com. I appreciate all the communication that I have with y'all. Comments and all that. You can comment also on this live and let me know if you support me. If you want, that's fine too. But yep. And like I said, I won't keep y'all extremely long today because I know everybody wants to watch the Donald here at 9 o'clock. So I will say good evening, and I appreciate you joining us. Anybody got anything they want to say before we let you go, or any questions? I'd be more than happy to answer. Feel free to write that on here. We have a rhino mayor and sheriff. I think everybody knows what I think about certain individuals by now. All right. If nobody has anything else they want to ask or talk about, then I will let everybody go. Have a good evening. Excuse me. Excuse me. We will let everybody go. Watch Donald Trump. He'll probably be late because he normally is, but it's supposed to be around 9 o'clock. And we look forward to seeing you next Tuesday, 8 p.m. right here on the Dirt Podcast. Thank you. Good night. And remember to pray for me. I'll pray for you. And God bless.
You just heard The Dirt, digging to the bottom of every situation to get the truth with your host, Jason Mills. Tune in next week at the same time for another Dirt broadcast.